Good afternoon. Welcome. Hello, Killam. Thank you for the resub, by the way. Wayward Plane. All you hooligans coming in from Professor Corey's stream, because that's what we do around here. When Corey's done, I send you on over here. Because, yeah. It's time for your weekly Thief Kitty. So everybody gets their weekly Thief Kitty. Because he's a silly cat. Hi. Hello. And he likes to hit buttons on my keyboard. Where am I today? As the name implies, leveling up on a legendary. Why am I doing that? Well, hi. Legendary server is the current topic of discussion. Cat hair. Because it is possible that the next level up on the legendary servers will be happening in as early as a couple of weeks. Cordovan said earlier today on Court of the Rings that they are aiming for somewhere in the week that ends with Valentine's Day. So somewhere that week, somewhere between like the 10th and 14th. Normally when they do updates, they make it for Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So I would say anywhere between the 11th to the 13th is the tentative date for the next legendary upgrade. Which in this particular case will add the Riders of Rohan to the legendary server. So I'm on Ithel. Why am I on Ithel? Because I like being on the Ithel server. Back in the day. I should have actually been on Ithel last night, but I was busy doing the laundry and chores and stuff around the house. So I am currently on my Runekeeper, who is not at level cap. And one of the reasons why you might want to not be on your level cap character this weekend is because of this shiny thing. It is a welcome back weekend. 25% experience gain on monster kills, crafting, quest completions, LI, and mounted combat XP. Irony, since we don't have mounted combat yet on the legendary servers, but you know. And also, the reason I'm on my Runekeeper is because my good friend Sapiens, who is the former community manager of Lotro, streams Lotro on Ithel Thursday nights, and he's in my kinship. And when I was working late at night on Thursdays, I couldn't join his stream anymore, and I was bummed about it. So, my character has gotten a little bit behind. His is, I think, he's level 44, so I have 3 levels to catch up here, and figure an XP boost weekend is a good idea. So next week I will probably be back on my main. I don't know yet. I generally don't want to, now that I've gone through the big twists, I think, in the Minas Morgul expansion content, I don't really feel obligated to hurry up and play that first. Killam's gonna lurk before work. That's a bummer. Nobody should have to work on Fridays. So I'm on a yellow line Runekeeper. When I run with Sapiens to keep his hunter alive, I was running blue line. And just before this quest, for those who are really familiar with the Epic Quest line, thank you for the host, Emma Forn. That was a nice slow death fall. That was pretty cool. What I used to do is I was playing blue line, and then right before this segment, like cleaning up the end of book 4 or just starting book 5, I don't remember, you do that long quest with Legolas against the wood trolls, and I started the quest in blue line, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is not a good idea. It wasn't that Legolas was nearly dying or anything like that. It's just the time to kill was like, yeah. So I spent most of Court of the Rings and an early part of Mythgard and Middle Earth doing that, and I finally just said to hell with it and switched to Yellow Line, which is actually my preference. I have been playing Yellow Line, or prefer playing Yellow Line Runekeeper ever since Twitch chat taught former Standing Stone, or actually Turbine employee Quartermaster U, that Yellow Line Runekeeper was where it's at. Yellow Line for the one. Hi, Ponton Finberry. How are you doing, sir? So I did actually spend a Valar on my main Runekeeper, who is over on Crick Hollow. All of my main play characters are on Crick Hollow. But my RK over there, when I boosted her, I think I was running her as a red line, and I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that. So when I chose my allies, I chose the Yellow Line and built up a nice Sparky keeper. So we gotta go ride all the freaking way back to Glowin, which basically means we're gonna ride back to what's his face, the little camp up here, and then swift travel back. Unlike Sapiens and Quartermaster U, he did this once, and I teased him about it on the stream. And that was it was like 5 years ago. Is when you're an employee or a former employee and you have like 50 million Mithril coin, you start using Mithril coins, much like the Weasley twins used to do with apparating when they learned how to apparate in the Harry Potter books. You just, you know, use them to bounce up and down stairs in the house until their mother yelled at them. Well, I have no plans on doing that with Mithril coin. So I'm sorry, you have to hang out with me while we ride through the landscape like normal people. And I'm trying to avoid side questing, even though the side questing will be good for you know, getting the levels and whatnot. What I want to do is get caught up in the epic story. So that's my goal, is getting caught up in the epic. And then once the mobs get to like red, I can then focus on side questing there to get some levels so they're no longer red. And I am sorry, I have a cold. I remember last week I cut out early. It's because I was sick, and I'm still kind of getting over it. So next week is going to be an extra long stream, because if you're here, you know, most of you are here for Corey's show.
Greetings, traveler.
Collect the Keystone. What about the Keymaster of Gozer? Or the Gatekeeper of Gozer? Professor Corey will be out at Texmoot. So, as is our usual custom, I will be starting my show during his time frame. I do appreciate, by the way, the previous week, and this is actually partly why I got sick, is I not only hang out with coworkers who don't wash their hands and don't cover their mouths when they cough at work, I also overextended myself doing winter stock. I literally put in a 21-hour day last Monday. I can't do that again. Not this past Monday, but the winter stock Monday. And because I actually worked a full shift before I even started winter stock, and that was like, we were streaming until midnight, and I'd been up since like 4:30 in the morning or something. So I can't put, I'm old, I can't put in days like that anymore. So I think it made me more susceptible to the plague that people carry in the office, so. And yes, I'm ignoring the pop-up quest. I'm ignoring it. Okay, I'll search for treasure. Because it's like already there. Like, oh my god. So the stream will be starting at 1 o'clock, and I'll be raiding you from Cordovan's stream. And I'm actually kind of, speaking of Cordovan, I'm actually kind of looking forward to PAX East, which will be coming at the end of February. Because PAX East will mean the annual Lotro DDO player meetup. And even if it's in the same place that we always go to before, which is Wagamama, it's always good to hang out with fellow players. I will be hanging out with McVegan Pants, Clem, and Elda left a lot because we're rooming together for PAX. So that's going to be super cool. I have met McVee and Clem before, but I've not yet met Elda in real life, so that's going to be exciting. However, Cord was hinting at plans and shenanigans he has possibly in mind, and if they come to fruition, it'll be even cooler. And I am not allowed to say what they are. Sorry, NDAs. NDAs suck. Hey look, there's even a corpse. How handy. Wayward Plain is allergic to snow and cold weather in Boston, an expensive thing, and walking. Yeah. I've actually met Wayward Plain in real life many years ago. At Dragon Con of all places, so it's not a cold place. And also Dragon Con is generally Labor Day weekend, which means August, and oh my god, it's so freaking hot! The only time I actually like hurricanes is because if there's a hurricane the weekend before Dragon Con, it makes the weather at Dragon Con not be Atlanta weather, TM. In air quotes. Yeah, you remember I was sitting on the floor. That's about all I remember. I remember you had long hair, and you had, I think you had color in your hair, like colored braids or something, and it was really cool. I thought, wow, this person's really amazingly cool. And then we forgot about each other for like 20 years. And then all of a sudden I tweet about this this mailing list that we used to be on together that I founded back 27 years ago, and Wayward Plain realizes, holy crap, I have known this person for 20 some odd years, and then realized, wait a minute. So it's actually kind of cool that you find somebody. I've actually known Wayward Plain longer than I've known my own half-sister, because nobody bothered to tell me I had a half-sister until like 98 or 99. My family is weird. Ironically, my half-sister and I like a lot of the same things, despite the fact that we weren't raised together, and she knew about me, but only in vague, like the sense that, oh, my dad got divorced and then married somebody else and they had kids. She like knew me and like knew my name, but we didn't really know about each other. And we like a lot of the same things. Like we both like Rush. R.I.P. Neil Peart. We both like Information Society. In fact, she is listed with her old married name in the liner notes of the Don't Be Afraid album, I think it is. It was the third one, the one with the blue cover. Speak to Gimli and Rivendell? Sure! We will take the Swift Express. Where's Lara Sharpsword? Oh, wait a minute. Is Lara Sharpsword over there? Yes. We're gonna do that to turn that one in quest because hello, free XP. And then we'll run back down to Rivendell. Hi. Hello. I got a cuddle kitty. Look, he's got toe beans.
Greetings, traveler.
Alright, the box that, yeah, let's do that thing.
You've come at a most
And we're not going to
time.
continue the next quest because, again, not doing side quests.
What do you want?
I want to go back to the other stable master. He actually doesn't care, this silly kitty.
Greetings.
So I now have a new schedule at work. Because one of the things that happened was a week ago, when I came home from work sick last week, my supervisor, the last thing he said to me is, yeah, we're going to talk on Monday.
How can I be of service?
Thank you for making me stress about it all weekend, Jerry, my boss. Who is not Jerry Cordovan. It's actually been a joke for the past month. Is like, I have Jerry, my boss, and then, Jerry, the community manager friend. It's been very puzzling. Alright. The new beacon should be going up soon. I keep an eye on the forum, the dev tracker. Running into trees now. Shame on me. So, there's a whole bunch of people spending their marks and stuff, a whole bunch of Mythgard people, setting Professor Corey XP boosters so he could complete the Hitbolt quests, because everybody wants him to do the Hitbolt thing. I probably should do that on my Mythgard healer character, but we're not doing it today. Because I want my Radio Free Gallifrey healer to get some love today. We're at level 41, heading to 42. A glorious battle! Oh, the Keystone! We're gonna get to defeat Skorgrim in his dour hands! Oh, this is so good! I love this quest. Thief?
Skorgrim's dour hands have taken refuge from
Thief,
the wrath
get
of
off
Durin's
my table.
folk within an ancient dwarf hold, high in the passes
Hi.
of the Misty Mountains. There they
Thief?
plot their return, unless an end can be put to their scheming once and for all.
One. I gotta go beat up on Skorgrim. Leave me alone, cat. Alright, let's do it, Gimli.
You just look at this.
I do look at it. Your doom has arrived! Dun dun dun! Hey, it's a good thing I want yellow line for this happiness. I can put one of those down. Thief. Get off the table, dummy. Thief, what are you doing? I hit the wrong guy. Oopsie. So what else is going on in the world of Lotro? There are music events available. If you go to lotroartist.com, all kinds of event notifications. And yes, I did stream Weatherstock a couple weeks ago. It was a lot of fun, a lot of work. I will admit there is definitely a lot of work involved. Definitely not something I recommend doing on a work day. Let's just put it that way. Let's get behind this guy. Are we there yet? Uh-oh, Gimli's wondering. Harder fight than you thought? Well, let me put a heal. Well, you're already healed. Oh, and they're orange. Means you'll just be a little bit tougher. Rawr! Smash. Ouch. And of course, I do need to spend some time farming the... One thing I really hate about those books, the level 45 class quest for your trait points, is those book pages drop so freaking randomly, and the drop rate is so low. They should make them easier to get. Because normally, I think it's partly because Lotro spoils us in terms of quest drops. Most other quests, you have to kill like 12 things to get the 10 items you need for a quest. With that one, not so much. Let's put it into the fire. Why not? This is what happens when you click and drag. There we go. Yeah, you thought you were sneaking up behind us, or gonna flank us there, did ya? Yeah, fiery ridicule is not my favorite skill because it's got such a long induction time. Where's the cape from? This is the outfit of the Isengard Dispeller. It is unfortunately no longer available. It was something that was available when Rise of Isengard was coming to the Legendary servers. So for like the month of September, any person who was VIP at any point during the month of September would get that account wide. So if you don't already have it, then unfortunately there's no way to get it. I'm sorry. And the whole set was created because, unfortunately, speaking of exclusive things, the original Rise of Isengard pre-orders had an exclusive outfit series available to them, a red, a white, and a green, similar to this outfit, this entire outfit, right? But different icons. Wow. And the sad thing is, they were only available if you had purchased a certain thing at a very certain time, and it's no longer available to purchase, so people can't get them anymore. And the best thing that Standing Stone can do, in terms of honoring the original legalities of this situation, is they made, basically reskinned them in enough of a fashion that the lawyers were happy. Kind of sucks. Yeah, and it's definitely something that they more or less learned from. I mean, they still have this. This was an exclusive thing, and it's not. I'm not sure of the exact legality because, of course, I can't read the contracts. I don't work for Standing Stone. But if they said it was limited to this particular time frame and these are the exact rules, they have to honor that officially if there's a contract linked or inked with that regard. In terms of selling something. It's possible this blue set isn't under the same deal because the other ones back in 2012, I think it was, were expressly tied to a purchase. These weren't technically tied to a purchase, they just said you had to be VIP. So I guess the only purchase it's tied to is buying VIP if you weren't already. Oh, the Pocket Stone that gave XP? You mean this one? That was, yeah. Mm-hmm. That one will be going away. Well, actually, it's already gone away on my main. Because this is not my main character on Ithel. This is the arcade that I was running with Sapiens because it was the closest healer that I had to his level at the time. And still is. Let's assist Gimli and see what we got here. But yeah, you did I buy that XP pocket with Mithril coin? No, I didn't. It came with the pre-order thingamajigger. Now, there are things that you can get, but I don't think there's an actual XP pocket item. One thing I really actually dislike about it is the fact that it has no stats on it. So, you're giving up some stats for the XP. And it's the same with the Stone of the Tortoise, which is something you can buy in the store that stops your XP. Let's say, for example, you wanted to go raid Moria content on the Legendary, or any of the servers, but you don't want to level past that thing. You want to stay on level for that. Like, I think the Play It Again kinship does that over on, I want to say Arkenstone? It might be? Or are they on Brandywine? Or are they on Gladden? They're on one of those 3 servers. Oh, hi. Let me pop that bad boy down. Okay, attack the stone. Attack the stone. It's fine. Hey! No sneaking up from behind. In your face. I'm gonna get this captain back here. Gimli, no dying on me! No dying allowed. Well, yeah, and the thing is, here on the Legendary server, it is more of a grind because it's harder to out-level an area. Because even though there's an XP boost going on right now, the normal thing here is story pace, which means your the amount of XP that you're getting is like 60% of a regular server. I mean, you can get your XP boost, like, you know, your pocket items, your Shield of the Hammer Hand, all that other fun stuff will mitigate that story pace debuff to some extent. Where's Gimli? Hi, Gimli. Are you hanging out back there? Oh. You know, I'm a Runekeeper. I can heal myself. If I don't do that. Here you. Yeah. There we go. Gimli's fine. He's fine. Brandywine. I knew they were somewhere. I knew it was a server I don't regularly play on, that's all. There we go. Fall down, go boom. We're gonna get sneaky. You gonna hit it with a hammer? And that's why we went to get the keystone anyway, right? Time has been cruel to the mechanism. But it worked! It still worked anyway! It's fine! You play on Landy? I have played on Landy for a while. Because that's where the Lonely Mountain Band is. And a lot of the music community. That's their main server. But there's a lot of other music community folks on Crick Hollow, like Ponton Finberry's own Kinship Second Breakfast. There's a lot of folks on the European servers too. Like Bellagear has a good music community, and Laurelin. Zorch. I like that stun a lot. Merged from Windfola. Oh my god, yeah. So technically it wasn't a server merge because you weren't forced to which server. They didn't merge Windfola to Langeval. The only choice you had, I mean, you did have a choice. You could go from one North America server to another North America server. So it's a consolidation of player base more than anything else. Zorch! I love Zorching people. That's like the best thing for Yellow Line is lightning comes down from the sky. And then you can just run up to the golden sun. Hey Aussie Worgen, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, Ponton, I don't care about, I don't care for exclusive stuff like that. Because I know, for example, Bethesda does the same thing with ESO. Like, their Elsewhere X-Pack had stuff that was only available if you pre-ordered. And I understand the tactic. I mean, from a, I'm not in marketing, but I hang out with enough marketing people to understand the tactic is you want people to pre-order as quickly as possible to get your return on investment, right? And that's also why back in the day, Standing Stone used to, back in the Turbine days, and I actually found this out doing research on the whole exclusive thing, for the Rise of Isengard, and the Rohan exclusive items as to why they can't offer them, is back in the day, the expansion went into the point store the same day that it launched. Which, it doesn't do that anymore. For example, we are aware that Standing Stone has said that Minas Morgul will go into the point store next... Well, I say next month. Technically next month and a half. Because, you know, tomorrow is the 1st of February and whatnot. But so sometime in March, Minas Morgul and the Stout Axes go into the Lotro store for points. And it used to be back in the day, they did it on the same day. Because they didn't... And the reason... Again, this is armchair marketing. I don't know the definitive reality of why that happened or what the change was. But it makes sense to me that the reason they didn't do it that way back in the day, that they could simul-post them, is because they already had their ROI sorted out from pre-orders, and or the fact that they had a big corporate backer in the form of WB. But Standing Stone is no longer a AAA studio as such. They don't have a, you know, Daddy Warbucks paying all the big bills. So I know a lot of folks complain about the store and how much that they keep asking us for money for stuff. And the price of some stuff in the Lotro store, which means you either have to spend a lot of time grinding points or spending real money to buy points. It's because they're a small studio. They're mostly self-funded as far as I know. And I don't know any of the insider baseball on that, and I'm sure if I'm speaking out my butt, Cordovin will probably wind up having to say something about it. But the reality is, they no longer have a corporate sugar daddy in that regard. Daybreak publishes the game, but they aren't a corporate partner the same way that WB was. On the other hand, it's good because that means you don't have a corporate partner telling them what to do. Daybreak, as far as I know, has very little say in how the game is created. Daybreak's main involvement is on the money side of things. Like, I know folks really complained about the price of the last two expansions, Minas Morgul and Mordor. And I hate to break it to you, that's exactly the same price points that Daybreak used for EverQuest and EverQuest 2 for the past few years. So, that's the biggest overt Daybreak thing that I've seen, other than anytime you switch from the regular server to Bull Roar and go back, you have to re-sign the ULA, which has Daybreak's name all over it now, instead of WB. You silly kitty. Alright. Which of the Nazgul is this? I mean, they have names now in-game, right? Is this the Woe of Cand? I mean, he's not dressed up very fancy, so... I mean, current day Nazgul have some pretty nice outfits. Actually, they did in Minas Morgul, in the Morgul Besiege content as well. Alright. You fight, Skorgrim. I'm gonna beat up on the Fell Spirits because I can hit them from here. And I can also do this. No. Whatever. There's one down. Let me get the other one. I don't know why a handkerchief sounds like a horn, but hey, whatever works. Hey! I completed Unbending to the Dower Hands number 1! Uno! Fools! I'll finish you myself. I don't think so. Oh, can I actually use this? Oh, yeah, I don't need to use that. Zorch! Maybe Kamu. The thing about the wiki is it can be useful, but as with any wiki, I always take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. A little bit. A pinch of salt. The Dour Hands will have their vengeance! I wonder what Professor Corey will say when he gets up here. In terms of exam, this is definitely Dour Handy architecture. Oh, stop healing yourself. I should probably have stopped your cast there. I do have a stun and I didn't use it. Duh. His body is nothing to you. Well, we knew that. We defeated Squigrim again. Because, you know, this isn't our first rodeo. Hey, I got Lotra points. Yay. Look at the first age, but I completed the other one. So, I got the Enmity of Darkness. Ooh, light type damage! Let's go see if we can slot that. Oh. I'm gonna take a little time. Why? Because I forgot to put my stuff here. But let's get you that. Oh, it's here. Definitely want that. Engage in vitality, maximum morale. Will. Empathy. Honestly, I don't want any of these other ones going. I want to... What do I want as my earning? Confidence. Finesse. That might be a good one to set as my earning. Definitely want the wisdom. Actually, let's set wisdom as my earning. Empathy. Well, I might as well put the ones that I have up here so they at least provide some benefit. Because the thing is, I've been playing this as a blue line and I never actually completed any of that. So let me actually switch to my blue line real quick and see if I had... Apparently I hadn't done it over here either because I'm a ding-dong. Alright, we're going to set wisdom as earning. Got that, got that, got that. Put wit up there because I'm so funny. So witty. Let me wait for the cooldown and I'll switch back to the other line. Is Tinker the best profession for RK? Well, see, the thing about professions is none of them are much good for anything. Crafting used to be good for something. It's not as much anymore.
Well met, friend.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Let us
Skedaddle. Plot me here says talk to Glowin. I'm like, what? Wait, what? Alright. I mean, there's some professions that are more useful than others. I mean, if you want to keep yourself in decent gear, then tailoring would be good for any class that uses light or medium armor. I mean, I get so many runestones all over the place that I don't really feel the need to make runestones. And Taylor can also make your satchels as well.
How can I be of service?
No, we don't want to go to Bree. We want to go to Glowin's comp. Let's talk to Glowin. Like a metalsmith or a weaponsmith aren't. There's no synergy with Runekeeper at all. Yeah, there's some professions that are basically the only reason why you'd have them would be for, like, Scholar can be good for just about any class in terms of, you know, making your own pots and scrolls and stuff. Alright, what do we got here? We got a gold ring. Might bad, will good. But I have better will on the ring I have now. The extra power would be nice. And yeah, my eyes are still hurting. I mentioned this earlier. Yaki was teasing me about when chat was getting a little bit out of hand earlier today. Yaki was teasing me about my eye was twitching, and it wasn't twitching for that. It was twitching for other reasons. Even as a might thing, that's probably a good upgrade. Actually, it's not because of crit. Yeah, I was actually very unhappy with all of that because I take my moderation duties on the official channel very seriously. In fact, I co-wrote the mod rule document with Eldaleth, and so I am very familiar with what we do and don't ban for. And we don't talk about our moderation rules per se, and a lot of them are common sense. Is like, you know, don't spam links, don't spam the same question 50 million times, don't be a jerk. But the notion that we're ban happy is quite frankly bullpucky. Alright, so really none of these are very good because I have better will on the ring. And why the 5 flaming hells there's might on a light piece of armor, I have no idea. I'm gonna turn my fan on, it's toasty in here. So it doesn't really, I mean, the armor is good, the fate would be good, the power would be good. The armor would be good, actually. I think we are going to trade the crit for the armor, fate, and power.
Welcome. You have come to
Scout the borders of Helagrod. Oh my god! Helagrod. Alright, what else we got here? We got some other loot that came in. That was a quest thing. Western-esque Domed Helm of Vigor. That would be a downgrade. But it's blue. Looks actually kind of interesting. I know I'm not going to keep any of this stuff. Nope. Well, hello there. Higher armor, vitality, but loss of will. I think I'll pass. Of course, you know me, I always have to look for the cosmetics. I get a halberd. Shiny halberd of the spirit. Honestly, armor in the game doesn't look good until, like, Moria. See? It's boring. So, anyway. Back at the ranch. Let's go skirt the borders of Helagrod. Probably never changed from the old one. Explorer, because you can harvest all the nodes. Yeah. No, Explorer gives you Forester, not Tailor. I think Yeoman? A Numinous armor is decent, you know. It doesn't look good until Dunland. True story, Bookworm. Hi, Bookworm. How you doing? Thief is looking at me like... I looked over him and he's clawing the back of the other chair, which is why I have other chairs in the room. And he's like, what? He wants attention because he was quiet. See, Thief is quiet until I start talking because he thinks I'm talking to him. And then he gets a little bit miffed when he realizes that I'm not talking to him. So, I do want to complete my books because those are... So, I am actually gonna walk the way up here and just kill all the Angmarium up here because possibly pages might drop. But again, I really dislike how infrequently the pages might drop. And yet again, Druids fire for, you know, loot something and forgets to equip it. Dar. Alright, I saw one dude over here, and yes, we are going to go out of our way to kill dudes, because, again, we might get a book page. I think by now, especially since the legendaries have gone well past this content, I think they should make those book pages acquirable through marks or whatever at the skirmish camp. And if they are, and I just didn't know about it, yes, you can laugh at me, I don't care. One of my favorite armor sets in the game actually requires you to do, like, Throne of Dread Terror or the Silent Street and whatnot on level. And get Morgul crests, so, you know me, I don't do the instances. I haven't done that yet, and I really want that armor set. Especially the heavy armor version looks really good. The Faramir set, oof. Special dyed, Eredlu and blue, hell yeah. Yeah, Morgul crests are a pain in the butt to get. Now, maybe it's possible that at some point, power levels will creep past with like 130 content and whatnot. That you could start soloing those on the correct level to acquire the things, but I think you have to run them at least 105 for it to count. And unless you're certain people who may or may not be exploiting, they're not soloable. If they are, I don't want to know about it because it'll make me depressed. It's like, no, I don't want to know that. Because I know for sure that I can't solo them on my 130 champion. Well, I haven't tried as a 130. But my champion doesn't have Valar gear either. Which is one thing I was teasing Cord about earlier today. He was talking about how well he was doing in Minas Morgulcon. And isn't it nice that Cord got off his ass and is actually starting to do current content for a change? He's the first community manager Lotro has had that has played the same current content that we're all playing through. Sapiens never did it. Freelorn never did it. I don't know about Patience, but we didn't have a stream presence back then for Lotro, so she probably could have done. She just didn't. It's fine. I love Patience. She's awesome. He's doing significantly better on the champ as well. Yeah, because a champ... See, the thing is, he was playing his minstrel like a DDO cleric, which you can do that sort of behavior with, where you can YOLO into mobs and tank and off tank and whatever, and not necessarily die. But you can't do that with a minstrel. He really wasn't treating a minstrel as a caster character like he should have. And plus, he has a Valard character, so that means he's got much better gear. So, but the thing is, I run my non-Valor champion, my legit level champion who doesn't have good gear. If I can run her through that content and not die, then anybody with a Valor character, almost anybody with a Valor character with meager skills and knowledge of how to play the class should be able to play through the landscape stuff, for sure. I see you, Raylug. I don't need you yet for anything, so I'm not going to kill you. Besides, somebody maybe questing up here. Yeah, the Valar gear, honestly, I think it was too powerful. And I severely disagree with Standing Stone's decision not to do a Valor upgrade. Because that double dips on people who might have like a level, anywhere between like a level 50 to 95 character who might have used an older Valor. There's no incentive for the player to actually use the 120 Valor unless they really desperately want to play with their friends. Wait a minute, that didn't sound right. This is probably a bad idea. Yeah, but even my Valor Guardian was like ruffle stomping things. I'm like, that's not right. That's just not right. But we did learn the value of using LIs. Even crappy LIs were outperforming non-LI non-LIs, at least for my minstrel it was. The LI was, even my crappy first ager was doing better than the loot box weapon that I was using before. So, there's that. I'm gonna stay here until I get my freaking pages, kids. At least one of them. I'm staying until I get one page. The skill buffs, yeah, the skill buffs are really what does it. Rude. How can you disarm me? Rude. But the grind to level up your allies is ridiculous. And what they really need to do is to rip out the ally system from the ground up and just rebuild it. Just rebuild it from the get-go. Find a means to, you know, figure out how much of... Because, I mean, the biggest hurdle, and this has always been their excuse, and I'm going to call it an excuse at this point. I mean, I have been pestering Severalin about that for 2 freaking years. Every time I get to interview him, we discuss LIs, and they have been waffling on that. And the one thing I can respect that he keeps saying is that they want to ensure that players who have already invested into the LI system don't get cheated by any LI 3.0. But what they really need to do is to conceptually redesign the LIs. Ooh, I did find a page. Yes! I got a page. So I got my page, and I still need to... And I went way past where I was going, because I needed to go down there, not up here. Is they need to figure out a conversion rate for LIs to say, okay, if you've put X, Y, Z scrolls, crystals, etc. into your LI, it translates into whatever points or whatever in your new item. And what they need to do is they need to make it so that at level 50, when you get your very first LI, that will be the only LI you get. Unless you want to get, you know, you need your, if you're going to play Redline Hunter, then you need your this one bow, and then you do basically they need to make it so you don't have to weapon swap for that matter as well. Specs for weapons would be cool. Snow Beast. Ah, yeah, wee beastie. But they need to make it so that once you get your level 50 LI, that weapon stays with you for the rest of the game. That if you want another LI for like your off spec or whatever, then you can then build one and whatever, but you shouldn't have to be forced into such a huge, massive grind. Yeah, legacies also suck. I mean, it's really hard to determine what legacies are good for your class or your character. I mean, there's some obvious ones, but some of them aren't based on your actual skill rotation. They're based on, well, you get this threat down or you get this other thing, and they don't really basically they need to make LIs an LI for Dummies manual. I've been making that joke, and I'm not saying, you know, for stupid people. I'm saying for folks like me who can't theorycraft on a daily basis, who don't have the particular background or inclination to theorycraft, you should be able to see an LI legacy and know 100% sure that it's going to be good for your build or bad for your build. This isn't like DDO where you can actually screw up your character's build enough that you can't play the character. Because this isn't DDO. Honestly, I actually rather enjoy building characters in DDO. I just don't like necessarily playing the builds that I make. Because I always mess them up. And then there's like 50 million people telling you, oh, this is the only way to do your character. There's a lot of ways to do your character, just not as many as over there. I mean, thematically, the notion... Yay! I done dinged! I dinged! I'm level 42. I'm now the answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. And you should also be able to do things like... I don't want the goat. Never want to ride the goat. Unless I have to. You should also be able to... I mean, you can re-roll your legacies to an extent with the legacy replacement scrolls. They shouldn't be so damn expensive, for one. And for another, you should also be able to swap out the passives on items that have passives. Like your two-hander DPS weapons. Like, they literally made... Excuse me. Sorry, Bear. Didn't mean to interrupt your nap. They literally made their imbued first ager that you could pick up with a Valar. Like the first few days that they were available in Minas Morgul, they were dropping with agility on them. Now, if you're getting that on a Guardian, there's not... I mean, agility can be a little bit helpful, but you don't want that in terms of your primary stat on your two-hander as a Guardian, or as a champion, or as a captain. You want something like might, or something that's gonna be. And so they were rolling back, and they even acknowledged that it was a bug, and so they changed it so they couldn't roll with agility. And it took me like a month and a half to actually meet up with a GM to have them fix it. He gives crit, but still, there are better things than having agility on two-hander. In the steps of evil.
No dawdling.
Hi. Well, back in the day, Bjornings had agility as one of their... Like, agility and might were their two hand-in-hand things, so, you know.
Greetings, traveler. Will you stay a moment?
My cat has woken up. Go to Master Elrond. Oh, we're gonna bring the sigil of Drugoth into Rivendell. It'll make Master Elrond happy.
Well met.
But since they acknowledged it as a bug and changed it out, I put in a ticket to have GM give me a new LI. And fortunately, well, to give me a box to roll, I was willing to take the risk of getting crappy legacies the second time around, but at least I wouldn't get the bugged one that we knew was bugged. They acknowledged was bugged. So apparently when it re-rolled the second time, Crow might acknowledge that he got the same exact legacy or passives that his weapon did. So I'm like, okay, it's Crow might approved. And then how I leveled up my legacies is definitely never how Crow might approves. I'm sorry, Crow might. If you think that I might cause people to roll their eyes or be frustrated with how I level or gear up or build my characters here in DDO or in Lotro, you should see how I do it in DDO. I think I have people tearing their hair out over there, but it's fine. So Once again, Cordovan did dodge the what's going to be in the producer's letter thing because here's the thing: is if he starts talking about stuff that's in the producer's letter, then he basically spoils the producer's letter, right? So I understand why he's dodging like crazy on that because, and of course there's the impatience like, well, DDO just got theirs. How come we can't have ours? And I'm like, you know what? Take extra time. Let Severlin get super crunchy with this. I want, personally, my desire for a producer's letter is to actually give us something concrete. I'm gonna poke a little bit of fun at another game, Star Wars: The Old Republic. Their recent producer's letter, their roadmap for this year. I like their executive producer, Keith Koenig. He's really awesome and passionate about his game. He plays SWTOR and has so many alts maxed out, more than like 3 average players, right? He is super into that game. Super enthusiastic, really great to talk to at events. Very, very much a man of the people in that regard. And this is not to cast aspersions on Severlin. Severlin is actually running 2 games. He'd run 3 if they'd let him have Asheron's Call too, you know. But he's also more of an engineer. He works more hands-on than Keith does. So, you know, when you're writing code, you don't have time to play.
Dark days are coming.
The mark of a Gaunt Lord, oh no!
A strange fate brings you hither.
Alright, we're going back to Heligrod. You know, we're gonna do that quest. I am now known to Thorin. Well, got a deed saying known to Thorin's Hall. Yes, I am known. But I love Keith did bits and bits and bits. However, his roadmap was super vague. Like, super, super vague. Enough so that they had to have their creative director jump in and give a second sort of not-so-vague roadmap of where they were going in the story. And you don't want that to happen. You don't want to be so vague as to, you know... You want to leave people with questions, but you don't want to leave them, like, with, what do you... Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, what is actually going to happen here? Let's go back to the stable. Cat hair. So, where do I see them going? We still have 3/4 of Mordor to do. And Cordovan did the very, very bad thing of saying, hey, I'm really excited about some of the stuff we've got coming up. Because we start getting excited. We start thinking, oh, there's going to be something really super awesome. And then when it comes out, we're like, oh, is that it? Is that all? Lothar was really bad about that for years. And I called him out on it more than once. Because you never want to overpromise. You don't want to get your players thinking that there's actually more coming than what they expect. You want to underpromise and then overdeliver. That's how it goes. It's kind of like being Scotty on Star Trek. He keeps his reputation as a miracle worker by saying, oh, we're going to take 4 hours to do XYZ to save the Enterprise, and it only takes him 2 hours and it makes him look good. That's how they should play it. Yeah, you can't say... Thematically, I don't see a Bjorning... Why would a Bjorning wear heavy armor? I don't get that. But the heavy armor does make gearing... Yeah, because part of the problem was Bjornings were originally, I guess, designed as an agility class. And so they wore medium armor. But it became a pain in the butt because you went from having 3 separate pieces of armor to having 4. So you got medium armor with might on it, and then they switched, okay, Bjorning's supposed to have might. So you got medium armor with might. So having them get might armor that's heavy armor makes a lot more sense. Oh wait, we just needed to go here. We didn't need to actually talk to anybody. How's my bags? They're fine. It's a kitty. So we're at 4:15. We've got another hour and 45 minutes to go. So We should easily beat up on this, Hi. Hello. Hello, kitty. Oh, book 5, chapter 8, Fire and Ice. I think George R.R. Martin would like to have a word with you. A Song of Fire and Ice. Though I personally have not watched Game of Thrones or read the books. Got bears coming after me, but I see dudes that I want to kill for the thing, so I'll wait for the bears to catch up and then I'll shoot them. Oh gosh, darn it, cat hair. Really. Fifi, you know you're a pain in the butt. Ow. Oops, I forgot I was actually here to kill this guy. Oh well. Another... Yeah, there's one behind me. Yes, I know I have a bleed on me. Your guess is you might go to the Sea of Nirn? I mean, that would make sense. Here's something that's also a little bit of a curiosity. Given that I do play both games, and there's not too many of us who do play both games, DDO is getting a new expansion this year. I don't remember that they don't get expansions every year. I mean, they're getting a new expansion, a new class, a new race. So it does make one wonder what's Lotro gonna get that's going to make it so that we don't complain about the fact that they're getting so much stuff over there. Because, you know, we do like to heck, I personally complained about the carry-all bags. Because we're getting shafted on the prices and the slots available in those bags, and I think they should give us some more slots for the price. Actually, they should lower the prices because, holy Christmas, we are getting rubed on it. Hi, kitty cat. Any more dudes? Now, I'm leaving the snow beasts alone because they don't do anything for me, see? They're only like a Slayer deed. And my Slayer deed has already expired, so... Sharn? Yeah, they just got the Masterminds of Sharn expansion early last year. And then they got a game update later in the year, Keep of the Borderlands. Whereas we got our update first and then our expansion later. So they basically made it so the immensity of the building needs for any shared resources, because there are some, like the art team is shared between both games. There isn't like a Lotro art team and then a DDO art team. Would you get your... Okay, sit down, cat. That would be really nice. As I'm looking for guys to kill to see if I get another page. Oh, there's one over there. Thief, would you stop howling? There's nothing to howl at. I am on the Ithel legendary server, Rami? Is that like Rami, like Romulan? 'Cause that'd be kind of cool. And please, no Picard spoilers. I have seen it, but if you haven't seen it, let's not discuss. I do have a spoiler channel in my Discord where you can discuss it to your heart's content. All I will say is, I like it. I'm also enjoying the new Doctor Who. The most recent episode was amazing. But again, no spoilers. Zorch. So, looking forward to finding out if the PAX East plans are going to happen as expected. Because I know what they're supposed to be.
Elrond Half-Elven fears that the remaining Nazgul has enlisted the aid of the gaunt Lord Drogoth to instill a fell spirit into the frozen corpse of the ancient dragon Thorog and raise the beast once more as a wight.
I'm a shiny.
Little time remains to stop this.
I'm gonna wave at people. Are these dwarves waving to people who are leaving? It's like, hey, you're leaving. Bye. Alright, this should be fun. Oh, I should get a couple of pages in here, too. Lots of Angmarim to kill. I think it's also easier for them to do an expansion. For example, the Ravenloft expansion previous to that, the epic story, like the story of Ravenloft was 10 quests. That was the entire expansion of questing. It was a nice story, but you could literally play through the entire expansion worth of content in a single day with a decent geared rate. Well, even a decent group of people. But their new landscape content for Ravenloft was like, they just got mounts earlier this year. Oh my god. And I was like, you know what? I'm so glad I have a mount on my characters. Oh, hello, pretty blue thing. This is like my favorite part of this quest is these, because they blue! Come on, of course I'd like them. Alright, let's kill these guys. So, unfortunately, there's always going to be comparisons between the two games. And there's always going to be a little bit of a neglected child syndrome whenever the other game, whichever, like, you know, DDO feels neglected when Lotro gets all the shinies, and vice versa. But there are some things I think that they could equalize a little bit better, you know. It is what I'm an armchair developer. I make stuff up too. So what would I like to see for 2020 for Lotro? An overhaul to the LI system would be amazing. But honestly, it can't be a case where it's like they build on the existing code. They just need to rip the entire thing out and build it from scratch. Just reconceptualize it, make it fair to the players within reason. I mean, there's always going to be you want to make sure that there aren't too many outliers. And I don't know, is it me or does this ice cave look like fiberglass? It looks like fiberglass to me. By the way, thank you for the recent follows. I don't have the usual Twitch streamer follow alerts and crap turned on when I'm here on the official, because it's not about me per se. It's about promoting Lord of the Rings Online. I'm not coughing my lungs out. And yes, I will click when I'm taking a drink. I don't think necessarily that one of the two games is more well-loved in the eyes of Standing Stone than the other. In the community manager, yeah, to be fair, Cordovan got hired out of the DDO fan community. If you didn't know, there's a long-standing DDO podcast called DDO Cast. He helped found that back in the day when he was just a mere player, a mere mortal like the rest of us. So, yeah. Just like Sapiens used to be a big-time member of the Lotro fan community before he got hired. I invoke the name of Elbereth. Or Varda. Standing Stone can legally use the name Varda. Because when I was rereading the books recently, I noticed her name in think it was Return of the King. Might have been Two Towers. One of the two. It was in the actual legitimate, we're allowed to use it part of the trilogy, so. Alright, we're gonna go down here and kill some more dudes. Yeah, the stupid, as you do. And this one doesn't have one of those things, but they have people that you can kill for the pages, so I'm just gonna kill all the dudes. I'm in your base, kill your dudes! I should have hit her with a stun. It's like Bajir in the WoW community hits people with a flex. Hit him with a flex! Bajir and his wife Jen are amazing people. I love those guys. I'm actually friends with his manager, Omid. Some dead dudes over there. Do I get pages off of them? Yes. So we're gonna attack them too. Hey, hey. Still a little bit coffee from the cold last week. Didn't really need to use the dispel there, because I was poisoned because I was standing in their AoE, their aura. As you do. The Blood Vowed. What a name. Can I get that on my resume? I am the Blood Vowed. Wouldn't that be a nice job title? While I was still on the special project team that I was just on, that I'm no longer on, there was so much going wrong with it that I decided my job title was Hallmark of Confusion. It was bad. I'm actually glad to be off that team, even though technically it was a demotion. It's like, we want this other person to be on the team instead because their schedule matches better. And that's what my former supervisor, Jerry, said. But then again, my previous supervisor, who's now my supervisor again, said, no, they did it because you aren't doing a good job. I'm like, what the hell? No. It's because Jerry doesn't like people working from home. Jerry, my former boss, Mr. Miller, doesn't like people working from home. And I like working from home because I didn't get yelled at by the nice, shouty English guy. Because we had one of those in the office. And now, I pretty much never have to talk to this shouty English guy. And it's kind of good because that guy, it was a walking HR violation. Let's just say his language was not rated T13 on a regular basis, and, yeah. Because he was often unhappy with the progress of the project, he swore a lot, and I was like, dude. Does this change the jobs prospect with the company, though? Actually, it kind of does. Because this means that, in a good way. Because the project was only a limited time thing. But the help desk team that I'm on, they're always going to need help desk agents. They are so far behind on tickets, it's not even funny. And the fact that my team hasn't yet been trained on the new store software, and I haven't been either, but I know more about it than they do. That's gonna help me out. And as part of the triage team project I was on, I learned a few things that I then turned into documents to help teach my former coworkers. However, we still haven't heard about anything involving an extension beyond the end of February. They are going to need people who know what the hell's going on after the end of February. Whether they are going to hire them locally up in Massachusetts or not is any other... we don't know. On the other hand, since I got relegated back to the minor leagues, as it were, one of the things that hasn't happened, and this is actually one of my grievances with work right now, is the fact that my supervisor, my past and now current supervisor, Mike, apparently doesn't care whether I get access to the tools needed to do my job or not. So I have literally spent Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Well, Tuesday I spent the day reading Twitter and Facebook and on my phone because I had no access to the tools to do the job. None at all. I got access to one of the tools on Wednesday, but not access to being able to actually do anything with the tool. Because it requires, in order to work the ticket queue, you have to assign the tickets to yourself, for the most part. Especially if it's an issue you want to work on later and then come back to it. And they don't have a queue set up for me. So I can't assign tickets to myself. I don't have means to do that. And also, since the last time I was on the team, they switched their phone app. They had one soft phone app, and now they have a different soft phone app. So I can't take incoming calls, which is like the primary thing the team is there for. This is the most important. It's like, this is the one thing you must be available to do, blah, blah, blah. Except it's apparently not the most important if the other AM people decide they're just going to show up a half hour after the queue's open. I'm just going to show up at 6:30 in the morning, even though my job says I start at 6 because I don't care, and nobody apparently cares to enforce it. So it's like we got calls that start coming in at 6 in the morning and nobody's taking them. And I'm trying to be the good person, saying, okay, I'm going to do my job. I'll toss a heal on myself because I hit the wrong button. Sure, why not? It's like, I want to do the job and do it well, but they don't feel like giving me access to the tools I need, so I can't take phone calls. I have access to the old phone system still, so I can make outgoing calls, so I can call the stores, because the job that I do, it's not a secret or anything, is I work IT for convenience stores throughout the country that are owned by the EG Group, which is an English company. Founded by two Muslim brothers. Let me kill the High Priest back here. This is a summoner. There we go. And, well, stuff's been going on. And what happened was the company changed pretty much all of their stuff when they bought Cumberland Farms, which is a company up in, ironically, Massachusetts. Literally, the Cumberland Farms office is an hour away from Standing Stone's office, which I find terribly amusing. I want to get the High Priest. Kill the High Priest. Oh man, that was fun. That's why I like playing Yellow Line Runekeeper. Yes, all Zort. So they bought Cumberland Farms, and they decided they really liked Cumberland Farms' systems, like their phone system, their ticketing system, the whole 9 yards. That's the wrong way. So they decided to convert everything over to the Cumberland Farm systems. And Cumberland's like, yeah, we can take care of all your stuff, except Cumberland is a smaller company and only had X number of convenience stores under their wing. And now all of a sudden they've got 3 times as many under their wing, and they're like, oh my god, what's going on? So there's a little bit of a panic in the disco there, as it were. So they don't know how to handle any of our legacy stores, and we didn't really know how to handle any of theirs either. So it's been a so Arcade's like Thor. Except you're not using a hammer, right? Would I have to move if they did keep me on? No, I can work from home. I have a company laptop. I can do my entire job from home. So they don't have to lay us off or fire us. But we just don't know what the deets are. I can't talk about that. It's under NDA. Unless Cord put it on. No, it's not on the forum, so I can't tell you about it. Sorry. Eventually, if it works out, plans will be known. Let's see. But there is going to be some kind of player meetup at PAX East. Worst case scenario, we might just use the same place as last year. Alright, let's have the Nazgul do the talkie-talkie. Worst case, we'll just use the same place as before. The problem is that there's generally so many people showing up to it that the place we like to go to, Wagamama, because we do have folks who are like vegan and have allergies and whatnot, so we need a place that can cater to many different kinds of dietary needs. And Wagamama was good for that. They were not so good for being able to make reservations for 30 plus people. We've gotten messed with on that a few times. And it's no real fault of the restaurant. I don't want to cast any aspersions here. It's just that, 30 people showing up at once, especially if we try to get their party room and the previous party isn't out yet. They stayed after because there's supposed to be like a 2-hour eating times. Like if your party is supposed to arrive at 8 or your party arrives at 5, they're supposed to be out by 7. And what if they're not out by 7? So it delays the next people down the food chain. I'm getting hit by a Nazgul. I'm gonna fight! What? You disarmed me? Rude. Scream! Wait, that does some damage. You call upon the eye? Fine. You call upon the eye. I'm just gonna heal myself. Rude. Yeah, let's get out of that. I cannot be slain. I return to Mordor and my master. Your master's gonna be pissed at you, dude. Just saying. Just saying. And now we get to run all the way out. And there's no chest. Nothing. Alright. What are you doing, kitty? Hi. Thief Kitty is... Oh, I can just leave instance to her. I keep forgetting that. Thief is being super, super attentive today.
The missing...
Standing still. Will you please fix those? One of these days, it is my hope that somebody with the powers in the system will go back and rip all those videos out and re-encode them and put them all back in. Because the problem with them is that the audio on them was equalized correctly, and it's tied. They're actually baked into the video file, so it's not something you can just change a slider on. Which king would not be in a good mood? No. Well, Sauron wouldn't be in a good mood either. So, you know, let's offend Master Sauron. Whoops. Hi, Snow Beast. And we're gonna go kill the Korkor on the way. You notice, we could have gotten more book pages during that entire fight. I don't think I got any for that entire... Ooh. No, I don't see any book pages through most of that, so... Boo. Boo! I forgot what my crafting is, by the way. Yeah, I found a book page on the very first guy I kill after I get out of there. Hi. Thiefy. Meow. Alright, we're still gonna run down through these and see if we find another Angmar. Don't you dare knock anything over, cat. Hi. Get off the microphone. Seriously, cat. You're getting on my nerves. He's being a butthead today. Yes, you are. Ow, that's me. No clawing me. In your face. Laugh all while you can, monkey boy. To quote one of my favorite movies. And props in channel to anybody who actually guesses what that movie is. One over there. We're gonna get him too. And your little dog too! And we're gonna come back and get that other guy over there! Guarendes is unlurking. You're the unlurker. See, notice since I picked up that page for that other book, I don't have any more. All the other ones are like probably in Angmar itself. Because back in my day, we didn't have no levels above 50. We could only go to Angmar and the Misties, and we liked it. We liked it just fine. Now the Snow Beast is gonna attack. Attacking the Snow Beast. I found a missing page of Thunder and Flame. You too can help acquire books that will get you class trait points. Do you recommend Buckaroo Banzai? Toganthel, you are the winner of my high esteem. I love that movie. Auto bestow on or off? Ooh, that's a good question. I personally just have whatever the default is. So obviously auto bestow is turned off. I think it's mainly only really a big deal if you don't have like 50 million quest slots available. You need Worm Slayer. Death by delayed reaction. Alright. I think we're all done with dudes. Unless there's one lurking now. It respawned as a worm. Whoops, there's a worm. There's a worm. Everywhere's a worm. What about auto loot? Always auto loot! I am a big fan of auto loot. In fact, in games where I don't have auto loot, I'm like, oh crap! I forget to loot. So it's always a bit baffling, and in the very few places that you don't get to auto loot in Lotro, it's like, oh wait, I forgot to loot the boss in this instance, because you're so used to either having it automatically loot or you see a chest and you don't realize that you have to actually right click on the dead body to loot the corpse. I have gotten myself killed on multiple occasions. Wait, I need to talk to Elrond. Okay. Out of my bags. We're fine. I did, however, get the Shoulders of Barahir earlier as a purple drop. It's medium armor, so I can't use it. A hunter sort or a burglar could use it. Ooh, they're pretty. They don't look like something Barahir would wear. They do look elven, but I'm going to hang on to that. What else did I pick up? A spiked hatchet, and of course, this being Ithel, I don't have all my goodies. Ooh, runestone. Well, hello there. Nice deeps. It's also lightning damage and nice fate. Yeah, that's really nice. Ironically, I'm level 42, so here in a few levels, I'm gonna be getting my first LI. So I lose will vitality, but it is definitely a DPS upgrade. So we're gonna use that while we're yellow lining, and I'm gonna hang on to this and to go back to that when I go back to healing Sapiens and not getting him killed. Boots, some shoes. 42 health, fate, vitality. I'm gonna hang on to the old ones because that set bonus is really nice. And I get a recurve bow, which, you know, bows in this game for the most part look terrible, in my humble opinion. My not so humble opinion. Auto loot always gets turned on. It's actually I have a custom UI file that I use for Lotro. I have two of them. I have one for my normal gameplay, and then I have one for when I'm streaming concerts. And Beacon is still not up. At least it's not on the dev tracker yet. Alrighty. That way it makes it easy for me to switch from one to the other. And one of the things that's always there is auto loot is included in the settings. So auto loot always on. Why am I... Oh, to hell with it. You know what? It's almost as quick as taking the swift travel down to Rivendell and then riding halfway across Rivendell to talk to Elrond. Doesn't matter. So what else would I like to see in 2020? I would like to see the kinship upgrades that they hinted at. Again, this is something else that we've been nagging Severlin since the first time he said that that was the thing. Because, again, I'm used to over in DDO having guild benefits that level up with your guild. As your guild does more content, you get something called renown. Your guild can lose renown after a certain point if they, if for example, you kick somebody out of the guild because they're a bad person. You lose like 25% of the renown. Like as players in your guild do things, they earn renown for the guild, and as your guild levels up, you get cool things. You get to buy a better kin house or a guild airship in this case. You get to put amenities on those airships that you go to the ship, you click on a thing, you get things called guild buffs, which will get you like an XP gain or a plus 1% bonus to something. They're not bad. They're fairly minor, but as you get more of these guild buffs available to you, it can be cumulative and it can be really nice. On the other hand, a lot of that stuff would apply to much harder content than we have in Lotro. So, and they would also have to figure out how it would work alongside the rank system we currently have with kinships, where, you can get certain things for having your kinship be, like kinship rank 7 is where you can buy your kin house for the first time. You get a higher, membership list available to you, like, number of people in the kin at certain ranks, but they don't really do much for you beyond, let's run into the river, why not? Beyond being able to buy your kin house at 3 rents. I am on fire! Hi, Lance! Hey, Lance! Did you go to Disney yesterday with everybody else? I don't remember seeing pictures of you at Disneyland. I'm sorry, California Adventure. So, yesterday, Blizzard had their holiday party, and they literally rented out California Adventure at Disneyland. The entire park. Hell yeah. Of course you did. Free trip to Disney. Hell yeah. So Lance is an amazing person. You should all follow Lance, even though he doesn't stream Lotro. He should stream Lotro. You should come play Lotro with us. Very positive person. Very inspirational. Can bench press a hobbit and a dwarf. And yes, he plays a lot of Hearthstone on his channel. And he works on Battle.net. So, he doesn't create games for Blizzard. He makes sure that they run well. And I haven't forgotten your BlizzCon badge, Lance. Now that I've got my upgraded graphics tablet, it's on my list of things to do. They must run, yes. I've done a great thing! Alright, I have 3 choices of useful item, well, questionably useful items, as in things that my character can use, as opposed to whether she'd want to use them is another question. So, let's take a look at the armor first. That seems an obvious choice right there. Go down to the earring. Since I have the Mordor and Minas Morgul earrings, this one isn't as much of an upgrade. It's not an upgrade at all, actually. Or the bracelet. Bracelet, not useful at all. So, obvious choice is obvious. Let's take the piece of gear and get a massive upgrade. Is there a new area construction between Breland and Evendim? Or is that a fake news? Soft Snake, that's actually a really good question. We don't know. All we know is that it's there. We know that you can tag wandering level 50 mobs. No idea. And there's a clear, obvious path going into that area with a big ass thing of stone blocking the way. I know nothing even under the hood that I can't even tease you at that I know something you don't. I don't know anything. So, if you know something that's covered under NDA, keep your mouth shut because that's what NDAs are for. All right, I got some new kit. Oh, that actually looks pretty nice. That looks pretty nice. All right, so you notice, Master Elrond did not give me a new quest to do. Because I believe I've already picked up the next quest I need to be doing. It's just sitting in my thingamajigger. So I'm gonna remove this. Remove this. And I'll probably wind up throwing them away because I don't have no intentions of completing those quests. Fires in the North. Chapter 6. Good Esteldine. Okay. This will be fun. A new gate in Trestlebridge that has a path leading into it. Ooh, I haven't been to Trestlebridge. But hey, we're going to Esteldine, so we might wind up going through Trestlebridge if I haven't got the survival unlocked. But hey, I'm now over for level 40, so I can ride back to Rivendell directly from Southbury, and I should be able to get back there from Esteldine. So that's nice. Alright, let's just go ride. Ooh, I might be able to get to Esteldine directly from here, actually, come to think of it. And I do remember, speaking of the new stuff in Evendim, that when asked about it on a Court of the Rings, Cord did a dodge, and he didn't say that there wasn't going to be anything there, but he refused to talk about it. And if you hang out with the guy long enough, you realize when he's hinting, but he's not hinting. When he's got a terrible poker face. Our community manager has a terrible poker face. I always know when he actually knows something and is deliberately not telling just to wind people up and get them intrigued. See if I go out of bounds. Wouldn't be the first time I've done it here on the official show. Though the last time I did, I checked first to make sure I wasn't going to get in trouble for it.
What can I do for you?
Mystery. Oh, I can swift travel to Esteldine. Let's do that. We're gonna go to Angmar. We're gonna go to Angmar. Alright. Meow. Oh, wait. You know what I need to do? Add to tracker. Let's go talk to Dervin. Got about an hour to kill. And we've got I actually started the day at level 41. During Corey's and Cordovan shows, I was actually leveling this character as I could. So I did get distracted with people in chat. Starting stuff. Alright, what's going on in Discord? People are talking about food in Discord, as you do. Do I have the terrain map plugin? It's a beautiful plugin. I don't actually. I try to go with a minimal number of plugins. Because occasionally I get people asking me questions like, well, how do I install that? And there's actually, I have a tentative syllabus written up. I need to talk to Corey about this a bit more, but there is the possibility that if I manage to find some time and get it scheduled properly, that I'll be teaching a basic newbie, like somebody who only knows of Lotro because they watch Corey's show, but don't really know much about how to play MMOs or anything, to teach them how to play Lotro. Because they want to play Lotro, but they don't. They're intimidated by Lotro, right? Because they're not what we would traditionally say. They don't play video games. I have a very loose definition of what one would say this person is a gamer or not. Officially, if you play games, you're a gamer in my lexicon. On the other hand, I would never characterize my mother as being a gamer. Except she plays Diablo and Baldur's Gate and Torment. I'm like, wait, what? The first time she announced she played Diablo, it was like a record scratch moment because she had never mentioned playing video games to me at all before. My stepdad, I could have seen, that would have made more sense. My stepdad is actually familiar to some extent with Lotro and has played before. My mom has no idea. But to have my mom say, hey, I've played Diablo, I dropped a 4-letter word in that conversation that I'm not going to repeat on the air. He's not on this show. When I'm not streaming on my official time slot. And the really funny thing is, when I drove to Massachusetts back in March of last year to put a kilt on a certain community manager and to do the fitting, is I stopped by her house on the way because it was her birthday, and she dug up her copy of Diablo. And there's a picture of me and my mom holding up her copy of Diablo, and I sent it to David Brevik, the creator of Diablo, because I actually am his friend. Him and his wife are really good friends, and I mod their Twitch channels. And so David thought that was the funniest thing. Because I've never actually played Diablo. I have a copy. I haven't actually played it, so it's funny. Anyway, we gotta go talk to Coroner up in Oak Hair. We're gonna go up to Oak Hair. Okay. So this is gonna be like a class on the basic, like, I'm gonna pull up this UI and say you hit the C button to get to this, and we're gonna go over the stats and say, well, this is good, better for this class, this is better for that, discussing what the classes are, maybe a little bit about the lore. It's like, what does a right click do in game, that kind of thing. So it's really gonna be super basic. So actually, I prefer Pepsi. I've always preferred Pepsi. Even if Coke came in a blue can, I wouldn't drink it unless I had any other choice. I'm not a Coke person at all. Alright, I'm going up Dog Hair. Will we see any indigo plant on the way? I don't know. Indigo plant. Speaking of indigo plant, there is... well, once I actually spend the time and get all the characters set up on the accounts, and I go talk to my good and dear friend TD Growl of the TDs to figure out how to properly multi-box and not make my machine melt. I will be working up a music band in-game called Indigo Plant. I already got the kin name locked down and everything. Yeah, love... See, Druid's Fire is blue. That's why the blue flames are a thing, right? Druid's Fire is blue. And if you didn't know, Druid's Fire is actually... Oh, Guarende's posted a picture of the new gate in Trestlebridge. Thank you, because, you know, I wasn't actually headed to Trestlebridge. I'm a terrible person. So I actually want to get this character leveled. You branches? What about me branches? It's all about you. Heavy you. Well, you know, heavy me, that's just me, you know. At least these guys are gray to me. We are gray. We stand between the candle and the star. Oh, and by the way, Tolkien is why I spell gray with an E. G-R-E-Y. True story. That's the only Tolkien spelling that I actually keep, You know, I was gonna look to see what my, I was a scholar on this character. Okay. I could have been gathering scholar mats! But no. Okay. A bunch of blueberries. I had those earlier! Because they had winter blueberries at Kroger yesterday, so I bought some blueberries. And I was chowing down on them during Corey's show. Because I like me some blueberries, as long as they're not rancid or too early. They were just right. So there's a little bit of tang going on there. It was really nice. Yeah, Coca-Cola is more acidic, and I like Pepsi because it is sweeter, right? That is true. Though, fountain Coca-Cola is a sweeter, more sugary recipe than canned Coca-Cola. And by the way, speaking of changes to the game, hello, look what Scenario did to this place. Oh my god. You don't drink carbonated stuff. Fair. And I can't drink, like, other carbonated things, like LaCroix. Now, the WoW community manager, Divalor, he loves LaCroix, and so much so that it's a joke in his channel. I can't stand that stuff. Wrath Duoth is amazing now. It is so good! I'm gonna ignore these guys. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission from God. To quote one of my other favorite movies ever. Actually, one of the bands at Winterstock was playing some songs from Blues Brothers, and it was so good! One of Carrie Fisher's best roles, but then again, any role she's in is a good one. I miss Carrie Fisher. In fact, if you go to my Twitter feed, which is twitter.com/druidsfire, surprise, the pinned tweet is a piece of art that I made a couple of days after her passing. As my way of dealing with the grief of the matter. It was very sad. And for all its other faults, I'm glad that Rise of Skywalker was able to fully, well, at least give us some taste of what her final story, Leia's final story, would have been. No other spoilers. This place always reminds you of the Grand Canyon. Yeah. And one thing I dislike is the fact that when Corey brought his class up here, there was some stonework up on top of these mountains, and they wondered where the stonework was all about. And now we don't know, and knowing is half the battle. So we lost half the battle. Thanks, Scenario. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's take the scenic route, apparently. Actually, yeah, we did take the scenic route. Got myself lost. Where are we? I did totally make myself lost. Okay, wait a minute. He's over there. Okay. I reoriented myself. Didn't I? Sort of. Wait a minute. Wait a minute! Where did these guys come from? I did go around the wrong way.
How can I be of service?
Alright. By the way, you remember the last time we were up here on an official Lotro stream? Hey, Cordovan! Why don't you come check out these cool statues with me? Because that happened. It's like, okay, sure. And chat and immediately started losing their minds. It was amazingly fun. Alright. Take a rubbing from a lesser watcher stone. Ow. My headset hurts. You know what? I don't need my headset on except to hear combat music. Whoops! Remember a time of Grimgore that boar had double spawned? Then once I saw it triple spawned, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going near that. Because I was under level at the time. doing, kitty cat? I keep checking the dev tracker to see when the bacon goes out. Come on, Jerry, give us some bacon. Answering questions in Discord, as you do. Alrighty. But hey, we're up in Angmar, so killing these dudes... You know we're gonna kill lots of these dudes, right? Because we're gonna get our pages, and then I get my stupid thingy-majiggers. Yes, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Because I want my class trait points. That's one thing I really, really wish we could have, is a better... class trait point system in game. I do know that Thrualler created one that helps you manually track your class trait points and tells you where to pick up each point. And it's very handy for that, but it doesn't automatically pick up which ones you gain unless they're the automatically granted ones, like, oh hey, you're level whatever, you suddenly get a trait point. So, unless you're fairly diligent on when you're picking them up, you're gonna be kinda stuck. Toot for one day at the Circle K! I like me lightning. Hey look! I found a page. Tasty. Alright, let's go back to Cornier. Well, we're not under the influence of the Watching Stone's power. Might actually take my headset off though. No, I think I will. Because it is actually hurting my head. Mainly the ear over here. I should plug it in though, because I will be watching streams or something later tonight. So this weekend, for those who sports ball, and I do not say sports ball as a slur of any kind, it is Super Bowl weekend. So on Sunday, will be Super Bowl whatever. And my prediction is that A, I'm going in the wrong direction. And B, a team that wears red for their home games is going to win the Super Bowl. Now, whether that team will be wearing red for the Super Bowl is anybody's guess. I cast no predictions because I don't care enough to do so. Why does it feel like everything is in weird places in Angmar? Like, I'm forgetting where things are in Angmar. All these works. Halls of Night are up here if you wanted to unlock the Halls of Night. I am going on all kinds of... Once upon a time, when I was wandering up around where the Halls of Night entrance was, I ran across an elite rare. I'm taking the back way in here. It definitely has changed since the last time I've been here. And I was on a hunter. This is how OP hunters are, by the way. is I was on a hunter who was 2 levels below the elite rares level, and I kicked its ass. Almost died, but didn't die. But managed to deep sit down and kick his ass. So that's kind of cool. Let me plug my headset in. Because it's wireless, which is why I can always step away from the keys for a few minutes and still listen to music in the house.
How can I be of service?
Except it does weigh a ton. Collect a heart from a lifeless watching stone. I know where those are. Alrighty. And I probably should take the local quests.
It has been long since we have known peace.
Present yourself to the chieftain. Do I have to? Oh, they all had the same quest because it's the quest for the femme armor. Which some of the classes have decent looking femme armor. Oh, and Ponton is talking to Era from the DHS about the Rohan housing, which we're all super excited for, even though we've been nagging Severlin about that for 2 years. Only confirmed last year that yes, it was a thing. So the current, what we know, there are 3 things that we know about Rohan housing. One, it's not coming with Rohan in a couple of weeks or so when Rohan comes to the legendary servers. 2, well, we know that yes, it's coming. 2, we know that it's not coming at the same time with Rohan and the legendaries. Thirdly, and most interestingly, Scenario said on the forums that there would be 2 neighborhoods. I need to drop a thing here. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Boom. So to me, what that implies is there's going to be 1 neighborhoods for kinship houses separated from regular neighborhoods in some cases, I think. Because one of the things I do know that was a problem with Belfulous housing, far more than non-Belfulous housing, was that a lot of times people would glom onto those island kin houses and the entire rest of the neighborhood was empty. Nobody bought those houses. So what seems to me is that they're trying to implement some way to get the kin houses so they can have as many kin houses available that people want to buy without having an equal number of empty housing instances. Which makes sense. I don't know if they're going to be able to manage that, but it would be kind of cool. Oh, somebody yelling in the Rage channel. Oh. Okay. That's a political post. We're not discussing it. Anyway, we complete these tasks, we get the slippers, which would be an upgrade. Do we want to embark upon the quest to get all of the items for this set, knowing that as soon as Sapiens and I get our characters to to Moria, that those pieces of gear will no longer really be needed? What you think, chat? Do the quests here in Angmar? I mean, they would be good leveling quests. Or should we stick to... Well, we can do both, actually. Stick to the epic, because I do want to get the epic to where it's red. Because I don't honestly know if Sapiens is doing the epic right now. Because if he was, he'd be in Angmar with me! Alright. This is where I keep getting myself lost. So we need to go find these people and pick up their quest. Do a quest for me. I don't know about you, but I'm also hungry. So what is Druid gonna have for supper tonight, kids? Druid is going to have leftover Christmas ham.
I would speak with
Because
yourself.
Druid put Christmas ham in the freezer. I get to defeat wargs. By the way, Lotro is about the only game that can actually use the name Warg spelled with an A. True story. So we got Wraith, Torquil, Osbale. So what do you want? Heladir. Talk to that guy. Okay. Is there somebody in here? No. The Lost Fellowship. Fellowships seem to get... Oh, the Lost Fellowship is the one that's in Horachel.
Would you do something for
Discover what became of Durell, but that's in the Halls of Night. However, I can go find the Halls of Night. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. At least I can go to the Halls of Night and pick up the entrance, so I can just use the instance finder from then on. Yes. And I think there's some quests over here, too. No, there are not. Avera of the Trev de Vardain is strong, but yes, she's also a traitor! Yep, we're gonna make her lose her name twice. And then her third and final form will have a name that makes me think of Overwatch. Anyway, hi Sapiens. The feeling when someone gives you a sub to a channel they watched 2 days ago and have no idea why. I might have gifted subs to my channel to a number of people in the Lotro music community because they are awesome. And as a thank you for their massive support over Winterstock weekend. I don't know that streamer. It might have been a case if you had ever watched that streamer before. Somebody might have done like an anonymous gift bomb of like 50 to 100 subs and they didn't have like 50 or 100 viewers in channels, so they would take a look at like followers next. I think that's how it works. And that's one thing I don't like about Twitch is if you want to do a multiple gift sub pardon me. Wait, I'm gonna kill some wargs. Sorry. You can't specify who you're gifting your sub to. So, for example, you run the risk of your bank giving you the stink eye for dropping like a 50 gift sub bomb on somebody. If you want, like, for example, I wanted to specify who I did my gift subs to. So I had to do each of them individually. Lead on me. Oh, the lead on. Oh, there it goes. So what I wound up doing is using the /user command in my chat. It tells me the names of people, like /user, and then the name of somebody that I knew was in my chat, and that would pull up their little tooltip. Which is a cool mod command, by the way. If you ever wanted to check on somebody and they're not actually actively in chat right that second, you can't click on their name to find out who they are and whatnot. You can use that to find somebody who'd been in your chat, and if you're a moderator, you can see whether or not they've been timed out or anything, which is really cool. Well, if you do it as like a 50 gift sub bomb, then that shows up as a single transaction. I actually know a guy who literally dropped something like $5,000 worth of gift subs, bits, and other stuff on Devil Wars channel during a subathon. I'm like, how can you even do that? But when he would do like 10 gift subs here, 10 gift subs there, but you know, his bank was like, what are you doing? What's going on? Why are you spending 50 bucks? I need more wargs to kill. You're not a warg. I think one of the cool things is, are they down here? Yes, they are. One of the cool things in Angmar is you come up here, and there's these hill beasts just sitting and chilling, snacking on whatever they're pulling out. It's like they're just hanging out there, just minding on beeswax. And now I could attack them, but it's like, why? They're just sitting there having a snack by the side of the pond. Yeah, this guy would drop like 3 or 4 100 gift sub bombs in less than 24 hours, and then like, oh, I'm gonna drop 1,000 bits. Nope, 10,000 bits on somebody. I'm like, 10,000 bits is $100. I think he has something like a couple of thousand gift subs to that channel that he's given out to people. I'm like, how? How? Every time Lord does a subathon, the guy does it. But I guess if you're rich, you can afford it. Why the hell not? But of course, being that I'm on Lodro time rather than my own personal time, I have all of my alerts turned off. So I apologize if you're following me and expecting a cool Twitch alert. However, when I'm streaming on my own time, they're there and they're cool. Though I have been considering getting new ones. You need a Bill Gates circle of friends. Yeah, so do I, apparently. And again, I've never even had 100 viewers in this channel. The closest I got, I was like, oh! It was almost a PogChamp moment, is during winter stock. Well, I already got those guys. So during winter stock, Bloodborne was going to stream, I think, that Saturday night. And for some reason, that day, we had bad weather here in the greater Cincinnati area. Because Bloodborne lives on the other side of the river from me. We literally live like 20 miles apart. I've never met the guy because we've never actually arranged a meeting. It's like, hey, Blood, how you doing? Hey, you want to meet at this coffee stop or something? You know, hang out at a Starbucks or something, some public location. You know, because God only knows. But never happened. But for some reason, that day, we had really bad thunderstorms that morning. And it screwed up the internet on his side of the river, but not on mine. So I was able to do my stream and whatnot, and his was crapping out. So what he did is he raided me, which has never happened before. Will never happen again. And it was very kind of him. I'm very appreciative of that. But had 3 more people come in on that raid, I would have hit 100 viewers. And that would have been so cool. Because there's a Twitch achievement for, like, I missed the achievement by 3 people. Anything is greater than Gary, Indiana. I've been there. Don't like to be there. The reputation was definitely earned. Alright, we're supposed to talk to these other people, but we're gonna go do the next part of our quest. We're gonna go find a dead watching stone and take a rubbing off of it. We're gonna well, we're not defacing it, we're just doing weird stuff here. All the notifications of things hiding in the brush. Yeah, it would be nice if I had that many follows too. However, one of the cool things that happened because of winter stock is I got less than 100 follows, but I went from like less than 900 to right now I'm at 967, which God, it's freaking humbling. It's like, how many people are wanting to watch my stuff? It'd be nice if they showed up, but you know, your highest is 110. The highest rate I've personally witnessed dropped on somebody was when a guy called Dat Mods dropped 2,500 people on David Brevik and the Jungle Queen because she was playing Path of Exile, and he was playing, you know, Dat Mods was playing Path of Exile, and so that happened. That was a thing, and it would happen at like 2:32 in the morning or something. I'm like, I was gonna go to bed. since I mod for them, it's like, well, I'm gonna stick around. Because I don't feel like leaving them unmodded. I mean, I think a couple of the other mods are around, but I'm not sure how awake any of us were. Wait, do these guys? Yes, they do. I'm gonna kill these guys since they're here. And hey, they're XP. Because they're yellow. Oopsie, I'm making all kinds of friends. I probably should kill myself. That's not killing myself. Zorch. I can kind of hear what's going on because I did not, when I plugged my headphones in, I didn't actually turn them off. So they're still going, but they're sitting down here on the table. So Sapiens is going to solve the world's porta potty crisis. Okay. Do that. I think Lake Town actually did. They have some outhouses on Lake Town, which I thought was really funny. It's not the first outhouses we've ever seen in the game. Hey, Whispers in the Dark! Not to be confused with Echoes in the Dark, which is Bloodborne's show name. When he was on the official Electra stream team. Before he went independent and became big and fancy Twitch partner, Mr. Bloodborne. How fancy now. We get to visit the Twitch partner meetings and stuff, and their special secret parties and stuff. So it's kind of cool that a Lotro primary streamer has been made partner. He's not the first, of course. Well, hello. Whoops. Sorry, I made a noise. Stina was the first Lotro primary streamer who became a partner. And Stina's awesome! I don't know any Lotro streamers who aren't awesome, except those guys. Oh, nice. I've always liked Bill Gates much more than I like Steve Jobs, which is really ironic considering I have more Steve Jobs hardware in my house than I have Bill Gates hardware. Go figure that one out. Alright, I need one of these guys. Remove, remove, remove. Here's my book. That's what I need. Oh. Should I? Should I go for the elite worm? Should I? Should I YOLO this? Bearing in mind, the normal one's on level. I don't know. Should I? Should I? Come on. Should I? We've got the big old turtles over here. I remember once running across the ancient iron scale, the rare elite that wanders around sometimes. That was fun. Well, I'm gonna kill this turtle because he's in between both of those that I need. One of those. Oh, I think his friend is coming over to visit too. Fine. Drop this down and piss off the third one as well. I think we're gonna YOLO, just so you guys, because that's one thing. Ooh, I got a red turtle beak. Why is it red? Is it full of red? Reminds me of a song by the Library Bards. Have you guys ever heard of the Library Bards? I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm on a rune keeper. I've got heals. we go. See? It's all good. Knowing how to play your class in a vague fashion always helps. Did I get it the first try? Yay! I did! Yes! In a Palpatine voice? Okay. Oh, it's a trophy. That's right. By Bergs and Hunters. Well, I'm not playing either, so that's fine. Oh, that was my old shirt. Gonna need to do inventory management here soon. Yes, we are, kids. Let's go ahead and lock this as a free purple. Let's go take a look and see how much Jerry is slacking today. Is the beacon out? No! Damn, he's slacking. It normally has the beacon out early during my show. Maybe it's published in... See? That one! That's the one that I ran across. We're gonna YOLO and get ourselves killed by this guy. Why? Because it'll be funny. And I don't really, you know, as a was like, oh, I don't mind putting on a silly show. Let's do this. YOLO. Come on. Come on. Yeah, crumbs. Yeah, I should have put food on first because I ain't even doing a lick of damage to him. Look at that. This is actually really funny. There we go. That was funny. Retreat! Retreat! Normally I would just be like, okay. Hi! I didn't mean to show up here. That was not expected. Alright. So I'm way the heck down here. So I need to ride back here. What's this? Alright, got a bit of a ride. Oh, it's where the raiders are. Oh, we can go kill us some goblins and stuff. I think there's also a there's a rare wandering elite sickle fly up this way, I think, somewhere. What's going on in my Discord? Who's saying stuff in my Discord? There's a discussion about housing. That's okay. You know what? Longbur's warriors at Morphil. Is this Morphil? What are these guys? Well, they're mainly for the books, so let us. You're also for the books. The pages. Everything for the pages. Let's deal with these guys later. Every time I see the swamp flies, I always think of Peter McNichol in Ghostbusters 2. You are like the buzzing of flies! To Vigo, of course. And yes, I do like to fall down the landscape to get where I'm going. Speaking of Madden, Rick, you're gonna play Madden Sunday night, right? Because if you didn't know, Sapiens there himself does occasionally stream the Lotros on Thursday nights. You can come join us on the Ithel server. I did send you some in-game mail with some of the mats I had floating around. do avail yourself of the new processing feature built into crafting to help you level your crafts without having to have 50 million stacks of materials. Oh, there's the road. That should help to some extent. That's the thing. Also, we do have an island kin house. It's got stuff in it, but, you know. Alright. We are going to do a couple things over here. We're first of all going to talk to the supplier. Hi.
You will find no
Would you like to buy me Girl Scout cookies? An elven quilted waistcoat. Save the crafting recipes. The crafting mats, the recipes, the Arctic Hunter. No, because the Shield of the Hammerhand gives me the XP boost. Exceptional hides and those. You can buy those, by the way, at the skirmish camp. If you have enough marks and medallions, which I don't. Not on this server, anyway. Yes. Remember, we were thinking about trading out the coat we had for this one, and then then we did a quest and got a better one, so it worked out. It really did work out. I'm gonna save my Stone of the Healer, reinforced silver necklace. I mean, the armor would be nice. Why a necklace provides armor, I don't know. My hunter's at level 75, so she doesn't need that. Jeweler can use that. I'm going to offend Mr. Big Ed Mustafa by selling all of the crafting or all the task items. Inscribed horn. What did you inscribe horn with, and is Nona gonna kill you for doing so? It's a very important question. Yeah, not useful. Sell all of these things, get all of the money. And look at that space. All of that empty space. Empty spaces, what are we living for? Abandoned space. Okay, we're not singing stuff from Queen because I cannot sing as well as Freddie Mercury. Alright. Has been up for a while, just the thread not made for it. Oh man, really? Defense wins, a free tome of defense. Okay, well, let's go look for the new bacon. Cordovan, gooberfish. Alright, go to the first page. Go to last week's beacon article. And just go to the end and change to 146. So, let's do the thing. Yay! The first thing is all about me. I lied. That was last week's beacon. Okay, podcast. The Classic Lotro podcast. From beneath. Alright. Lotro Companion is updated version 12. It's a plugin that offers a wealth of information and data. Learn about it. There is a browser version of the Lotro ratings calculator. And the Purple Pipeweed Parlor Band is kicking off a new classical music series. Learn how to spell, Jerry. God dang it. In the coming weeks, click there for the schedule, and that clicky there goes to post on the forums. 4 different servers, 4 different dates, 4 different times. Freetown, Prince and Quinty Stage. Go to the thingy there. So, not on LotroArtist.com. That's fine. Vibro Jedi has created a new Lotro beginner's guide. Very handy. Vibro Jedi is an amazing content creator in the Lotro community. And just to crank out more content than any press outlet. Alright. And if you have a kin that you want to get featured in the kin section of the beacon, there apparently wasn't one this week. You can email contact@standingstonegames.com. And of course, if you go to the eventual thread that Cordovan may post and reply to the beacon post, you too might be able to win 500 Lotro points. I think it's 500. Pine Leaf Needles, good friend. Casual Raiders is mentioned in the latest Lotro Players news. Apparently, Gollum wrote that entry because latest. And you can also watch the official Lotro channel for streamers such as Winnie, Shinson, and Big Ed Mustafa, who will be on later tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern / server time, assuming he starts on time or doesn't start early, doesn't start late, or doesn't have internet trouble and unfortunately can't stream at all. You can also hang out with Hoppa Joel on Twitch as well. Don't know Oak Milo, and I know too much about Lavernia. Alright. Andang, by the way, has rebranded his channel, and I approve of the rebranding because he's now Andang Fire. I have no idea why I like his new channel name. Could it be Satan? No. Oh my god. I'm getting super silly. We're currently on update 25.3.1. Interesting. And Hershey sent a really nice screenshot today, this week. Of course, Hershey is like the worst chocolate ever. I'm just saying. I grew up in Pennsylvania. Hershey is terrible. Okay, what are our bonuses this week? We already know our bonus days. 25% XP boost for all players, regardless of player status. Unless you've been banned, then you're in trouble. Now through the 2nd. The weekly sales, expansion quests in the in-game store, not the real money store. Enhanced XP supply and Hornburg tokens. Hornburg is not spelled with an E. I'm picking up people's spelling today. 25% off skirmishes and instances. 100% mark acquisition boosts. Now through the 6th. And as was mentioned in chat, the free weekly is a free Tome of Defense for 90 minutes, hour and a half. Coupon code DEFENSEWINS! Now through the 7th of February. So thank you for reading the Lotro Beacon. So there's that. And of course, in Twitch chat, it does show last week's stuff because that stuff gets updated when Eldaleth has an opportunity to do so. So, yeah. Uh-oh, Sapiens is off to get Cracker Barrel! Okay. If you hadn't watched Sapiens' show last night, Twitch... Let me... Delicious old people. Actually, the last time I had a meal with my dad, that wasn't at his house, which was at Cracker Barrel the last time he visited here in Cincinnati. Okay, give me a shout. I'm gonna give a shout out to Sapiens because Sapiens is cool. Former Lotro community manager can give us a mild bit of dirt. It's like pig pen dirt rather than thermonuclear dirt on how, you know, what was going on at Standing Stone back when it was Turbine. All kinds of fun personalities. It's like, yeah, this person, but not, no NDA breaking. If you want secrets, he's not gonna tell you. He doesn't even tell me, for God's sakes. But he is going to go raid Cracker Barrel for old-timey candy. Anyway. The heart is cracked.
What do you need?
Alright, we gotta go to the Sorcerer's Doom. By the way, the Fist of Gundabad. We need to go to Gundabad, Severlin. Let us go to Gundabad. Because you told us there were a lot of orcs there last year. No, it was the year before last. Somebody gave an anonymous sub to Malin. Thank you for that. And 5 other people got new emotes. That's also cool. Speaking of emotes, mine are broken again. I can't use my love emote. And my new music emote is also not live yet. It has not yet been approved. But if it does get approved, it will be an 8th note leaning back like this. So the little flag on the 8th note kind of looks like, it makes it look like a high-heeled shoe, which is appropriate for dancing. Plus it has the one ring around it. And we're looking in the wrong direction. No, actually, we are looking in the correct direction. Because I remember. The way to get to where we're going is going this way. We get to go look at the newly revised Ram Duath, which Scenario kicked this one right out of the ballpark. It was really cool. It's so pretty now. Of course, I love it when the skybox changes like that. It's like, oh, hey, your sky suddenly looks like this. And do I have the fog bug emote? I think I do. By the way, you know, the fog bug... Did I say fog bug emote? I did. Okay, by the way, fun story. If you ever put in a bug report on the fog bug to try to get Standing Stone to get rid of the fog bug, or the nighttime rainbows that happen in Oregon and the Grey Mountains, you're wasting your time. Because Darth Celtics told me... Who's coming after me? Bug. Darth Celtics told me that whenever he sees one of those bug reports, he just throws them away. So, don't waste your time! But look how pretty this is. Scenario did all this stuff. So I'm kind of curious about this texture here. In terms of geology, if there was actual natural plate tectonics in geology in Arda, which there isn't, per se. Okay, I'm going to turn it so it looks like... It would mean that the land folded and went that way. Or it meant that somebody excavated this with machinery that cut at an angle. I mean, because this, honestly, it kind of looks like how you see, like, when they're expanding interstates and whatnot, or cutting, you know, cleaning up some you know, interstate road work. It looks like it's been machined, shall we say. Puntin'. Well, it's not even so much that too many players like it. It's just the devs... Because we all know from so many video games, it's not a Locho thing, it's not a DO thing. A lot of times what the player wants is not what the studio wants. So sometimes the players, like, overwhelmingly would say, we want this thing, whatever that thing is. No matter how much or how little work it would take to make it happen, the players want it so badly. But the studio's like, no, we don't want it. No. And so no matter how much we beg for it, we're never going to get it. But this is a case where Standing Stone likes it as much as we do, apparently, and are willing to keep it in place. So I'm happy for that. Hi. Wait, what? I thought I was in the right place for this. Did I go ahead of myself? Yes. Amavorn plays on low res. Oh man. So I jumped ahead of myself here. I skipped a few steps because, you know, memory. I'm getting old. So we're gonna ride this away. Gonna ride through all of these orcs. Through all the Angmarim. To go where the quest arrow was telling us to go that we were ignoring cheerfully. Excuse me. Pardon me, coming through. Ow. Stop it. And we're gonna go through the city of the bad guys. Because you can do that now. Hi. Or you can go through this way, I believe. We're just gonna die. It's fine. No, we're fine. It's all good. Stop, we rest now. Not kill off the last few orcs. I love those guys. Those are like my favorite orcs because they're so funny. Alright. Alright, we are gonna fight our way through the fighters. Why? Because pages. We're not gonna kill the well, we're gonna kill goblins too, because pages. We're here to fight for the pages, except that, you know what? It's 6 o'clock. You know what that means? Some of you, it's time for me to go fight something new. Actually, it's time for me to make supper. Sad thing is I can't stay up late on Friday nights anymore, because I now work Saturdays instead of Fridays. I now work Mondays instead of Sundays. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I work Sundays instead of Mondays, so I am going to have to call it. Let me get out of the city first. Can I leave myself in a place of relative safety? Question mark? Probably not. But I do have to make supper and get ready for the fact that I will go to work tomorrow, be there bright and early 6 in the morning. God only knows when the next employees will show up. And I literally spent my entire work week rebuilding my laptop. I basically wiped both hard drives after saving my documents. Because at some point, I think that laptop got compromised. As far as I believe, because I've been having some trouble with people stealing money from my Amazon and PayPal accounts. I think it was the same person. And the only thing I can think of is the only gateway they could have gotten in there was through the laptop at a time when it was on public Wi-Fi. This is why, even if you're on public Wi-Fi and there is a password involved to use the Wi-Fi, double check to make sure it's encrypted, because packet sniffers are still there. I found a missing page of the book. That's nice. Need to get out of the city though. It's gonna be fun. Found another missing page. That was good. 2 pages for the price of 1. The road to war. Oh, there's a glowy chest. Is it a wooden chest? It is a wooden chest. Time to loot the wooden chest. You hit me with fire. Die. Die. Get me some supper, gonna play some video games. I'm probably gonna keep leveling this character while the XP boost is up for this weekend. I was gonna play the other game because it's got their winter festival is up, but I have no real reason to stick in their festival. So I'm gonna play the page. In the back. So rude. Crafting mats. I got all the crafting mats. Fontaine is off for now. Have fun storming the castle. Yeah, one of the best movies ever. And if you haven't yet seen it, there is a glorious 100 plus tweet thread on the forums that yes, it was better as a blog. It would have been better as a blog, but honestly, it works better as a live tweet experience. Somebody who had no idea about The Princess Bride had only been aware of some of the memes that have come up because of The Princess Bride. You know, like, have fun storming the castle. Think they'll do it? I'll take it. So some younger person, I imagine, had no idea and was live tweeting in it, and it was the most glorious thing. Because their sheer joy at that movie and their discovery of what it was all about and who these characters were and why is this person familiar, and you know, they correctly guessed some story elements just by watching it, which is really cool. It's like, oh, does this mean that this person, like, you know, the whole thing about Inigo Montoya now becoming the Dread Pirate Roberts? Spoilers. They correctly guessed that before it came up in the story. Which is really cool, because they were paying attention. And of course, they, like us, and Fred Savage, like, is this a kissing book? So I was like, oh. But yes, The Princess Bride is one of the few perfect movies ever created. And I'll fight you if you don't agree. That's just one of the things that you just can be wrong about, and it's fine. You can just be wrong. My stomach is reminding me that it's time to eat supper. Like, I just had a bowl of blueberries during the show, but that was 4 hours ago. And I did have a bowl of cereal for breakfast. By the way, Eggo blueberry waffle cereal is actually pretty good. Just saying. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up into What's It Face, and we're gonna do the next step of the quest and go back to Foreigner, and then that's where I'm gonna call it. And we'll see if there's anybody I can send you off to. I don't generally get to do a lot of raids because generally there's folks streaming that I don't know or trust yet. I don't know them, and I generally like to be a careful curator. Sapiens just doesn't care. You know, he'll just drop you, hey, this person's streaming this thing, let's send you on over here. If I was doing it on my own time, I'd probably be more amenable to that, but since we're on official time, I do like to make sure that I'm not dropping you in on somebody who doesn't, like, adhere to some kind of standards. It was more of a thing when I was on, you know, streaming directly on the official channel, but it helps my numbers to be here. So if you wonder, why is Show not on the stream team anymore? This is why. By the way, new stuff up here in Angmar. If you didn't know, this actually exists. Scenario put this up here a little while ago. Sometime last year or the year before, he put this up here. And now you can come, you know, you can ride up the hill a bit more, but you can now sneak in the back door. Isn't it cool? Some dudes up. There's a wooden chest. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. Gotta go get this wooden chest. There's a sentry. Gotta get the sentry. Was it a euphemism or something genuine? What was a euphemism? Ooh, skull amulets? Oh, I do have a quest up here for those things, so... Whoopsie, I made friends. Hey! Hey! Stop that! Let me hit you in the face. Are these 80 movies? Oh, yeah. You should check out these movies. They're really good. I would definitely recommend The Princess Bride as the best of the lot. There are some that are better, some that are worse. Other ones that people like to cite are The Dark Crystal. I like the book The Dark Crystal better than I like the movie The Dark Crystal. I'm not sure. Probably because I read the book first, so I already... The novelization of the movie, which is actually better than the movie itself, in my opinion. But definitely Labyrinth would be a good one as well. Especially if you like David Bowie. Rude. So you fall down, go boom. And this is how you go and do this quest bass backwards. Because, you know, back in the day there weren't a lot of fantasy, science fiction, you know, Ghostbusters and E.T.? E.T. honestly scared the crap. I didn't like E.T. when I was a kid. I did not like E.T. I hear a kitten meowing in the other room. And that would be Miss Scamper Cat. Scamper has actually visited the show a couple of times, but the kittens like to wander around the house. The problem is Thief is a bully. He does like to terrorize them, and I haven't managed to get them to be friends enough that I can just leave the door open, which I really need to do because part of the problem is their room gets chilly in the winter because it only has, see, we went through the back way. It only has one heat vent in there, and the mama cat likes to sleep on it because it's made of warm. So we did one of the side quests while we were at it, which is kind of cool. Killa made it back before the stream ended. That's because I'm running overtime. So, awesome sauce. Let's kill this person here. I'm a big fan of shocking words, I'm just saying. Was RoboCop a good one? RoboCop was very important. It did spawn one of my favorite quotes in a movie. One of the bad guys was testing a very lethal gun, and shouted, "I like it!" That's where it came from. It's also really weird, and there... Oh, hello. You're free. You're free! Is you'll also see a lot of familiar people in that movie. Besides, you know, Peter Weller, everybody knows what he looks like. But one of the bad guys, the leader of the bad guys, was played by Jonathan Banks was one of them, I think. But Kurtwood Smith also played one of them. And he was more well known as being the dad on That 70s Show. Of course, I knew him also as the president of the Federation in a couple of the Star Trek New Generation movies. 5 and 6, if you want to know for sure. Chancellor of the Federation, president of the Federation. This is the one that got disgusted at Captain Kirk being taken by the Klingons and put on trial. But yeah, definitely RoboCop is a good movie in terms of science fiction world building. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you in the face. Best splatter scene in a movie besides meaning of, yeah, that's true. There is some gore in it. It's not a horror movie, but it's definitely not family friendly. So if you don't like blood and guts, you might want to at least avert your gaze a couple times. And I personally am not a horror or blood and guts movie sort of person, so not my cup of tea. Right, we're gonna take the correct path down this time around. Gonna turn right at the fork in the road. One of the other best movies. Well, Supergirl was not it. It was a 1984 movie. The best thing about the Supergirl movie was Peter O'Toole, and he was basically playing in any movie he could at the time. I think he was in recovery. He was trying to get himself cleaned up. I love Peter O'Toole. He was such a great actor. Grimgore the Iron Hoof. Yeah, compared to today's Blood and Guts, I mean, yeah. But back in the day, it was very shocking. I think it was one of those movies that was about to get its get an X rating. Because what would constitute an R rating these days is very different than what constituted an R rating back then. That is for sure. For sure. Like, for sure. Alright, first of all, we're going to turn in the Skull Amulets and Bloodstone Pendants to Wraith. And then we'll talk to Coroner. Looks like we've got 2 of them done, but we're missing the 3rd.
Betrayed Duvradine, Sire of the Iron
I'll
Crown.
take the power pot. And I'll take your necklace. What was Torquil's quest? That was Torquil's, right? Yeah, that's the cave Morphil. So that one's not going to be completed tonight. But I got almost to level 43, which is really good, because I started the day at level 40 during Court of the Rings. So, not too shabby, kids. And I'll keep playing later tonight until I have to go to bed stupid early. I have to be at work by 6 in the morning. Plus 41 will... I mean, that normally if I didn't have one of those 2 other earrings, I'd be like, yeah, sure, but I'm getting XP off of both of those, so we're not gonna pick that. If I recall, Fist of Gundabad is the best choice in terms of, I'm gonna use this for money.
What can I do?
Defeat the spirit of the ancient watching stone, and I get to go by the statues without dying. So I'll do that in a little bit. But first of all, let me go find, wait a minute, the crafting supply room right here. Durr. I hate it when the suppliers wander around. It's like, do you mind? Don't want to chase you
The
around,
wearers
dude.
of the Hilden are superior.
Okay. Dwarf, heavy dwarf hem of might. I'm gonna keep that. Leather helm of vigor. I could ding and it still wouldn't be that good. I mean, the armor value is nice, but the vitality, yeah. That level 30 Capity Glane is better. So, yeah, nope, we're not keeping you. The gem is a pocket item. I can't use it. I still hang on to it, though. You can't take with that item, shush you. The necklace. rid of that. Fist of Gundabad goes away. Master's jewel case. Sell the rest of it. There we go. So that is enough shenanigans for today. If I remember right, before it became useless. I know. Want to see something cool? The trick to crushing your soda cans is you squish it so it ruins the integrity. Oh my gosh, I am only 3,986 XP away from dinging 43. However, I need to eat supper, so let's go see twitch.tv/directory/following. Let's see if I know anybody who's streaming Zalotros. Only 4 people that I follow are streaming, and none of them are streaming Lotro. How dare you? To be fair, Bob Ross never streams Lotro. He's too busy on his creative streams. Though, if you want something to A, fall asleep to, and not watch Big Ed Mustafa, Bob Ross is a good choice. Also, very positive, very calming. I love watching. Though, you can cheerfully ignore his Twitch chat. A friend of mine who works for Twitch actually has been the mod on duty. She has worked a shift with that. So, who else is streaming the Lotros? Because I only have 22 of you. So, there's 68 people playing Lotro right now. Do I know any of these people? I don't know any of these people, but it's actually really cool. It means we literally have 12 people streaming Lotro. So I would say go to the game directory, like click on the name under the channel, and find you somebody whose stream looks like something you might want to watch. I'm seeing folks, somebody's in Angmar, I'm seeing somebody else is doing an Iron Man challenge, somebody's doing trivia. Somebody else looks like he's doing the Starting Moria instance. So find you something. Somebody's doing instances, I think. So there you go. Find you somebody to watch, whether it's Lotro or not. Doesn't matter. And I will see you next Friday starting at 1 server time, because again, Corey will be out next week. So I will be guesting during his time. He'll start here as usual, but at 1 o'clock. And the following week he should be back, but then the 2 weeks after that he'll be out. However, the 21st I can do his show for him, do his time slot. The 28th I will not be, because I will be at PAX. So the 28th of February, I will be at PAX. There's supposed to be a player meetup someplace. Has yet to be undefined, still undefined. Though, if the place Cord is aiming for gets locked in, he's got to get a budget approved and stuff, you know, to actually make it a formal event rather than 30 of us showing up at Wagamama, like we've been doing the past few years. If they approve it, it's going to be cool! If they don't approve it, we're still going to make fun, because the Lotro and DDO communities are awesome, folks. For the most part. There's a couple of jerks in the community. Come on! You watch me, you know better. Anyway, and of course Sapiens is a jerk too. But he's my favorite. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. There are bands playing on Crick Hollow tonight, 9 o'clock is Bread and Jams. Ponton, of course, if he were still here, could tell you all about it. But go to lotroartist.com and find you somebody performing and go hang out and listen to some music, because they're cool. I will see you next week. I'm not sure. Probably my next personal stream will be Monday, because that's my next day off. Generally, streaming during the week when I'm on a work day is a bit of a risky proposition, because by the time I get home from work, I'm really tired. So I'm never really awake enough. And then other days, people that I know or mod for are streaming, so I'm like, oh, yeah. So be good. And if you can't be good at it. Right? Peace.